Hello, everybody. We'll see how many people join this stream. If anything, I figure just do this and then I'll take the video. I'll take like the video, and then that way it'll be done. So WrestleMania 2 on two separate nights. Um, After everything with Corona and stuff like that, you had to figure, that it was gonna play into it, and it was just weird to see I see all this wrestling going on without the crowd, because wrestlers are sort of programmed to play into the crowd. They're sort of programmed to uh like get the cheers, get the boos and stuff like that. So the first match officially was pre-show match, Cesaro against Drew Gulak. It was, I mean, like it was a pretty all right match. There was this uh, cool spot with Cesaro put Gulak on his shoulders, and it looks like he's doing the torture rack, but he spins around and round and round, and he did it without any hands. I thought that was really cool before he picked up the win. I thought it was a good match. It's just really weird to see um, Gulak and Cesaro wrestle. It's just something that you get used to. It's something that you get used to, watching them wrestle without an audience. And after the pre-show and probably like an hour, 2 hours of Corey Graves and some other guy talking, we open up to the main card. The main card was the Kabuki Warriors defending their women's tag team championship against Bliss Cross, which is Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, and that's the like official name is Bliss Cross. Um, it was pretty good. But it was pretty all right. But it's just like weird because at one point, Asuka and Kairi Sane, they were all like Kabuki Warriors, and they're all like yeah and stuff like that. But they were literally doing it to no one. And I know it's weird because there were no crowds there. Um, it was just like weird because and you can't really fault them because that's sort of what they're trained to do. That's what they're trained to do is play to an audience, play to a crowd. And without the crowd there, it's sort of like a little bit weird. It's sort of like it takes away an element from it. um I thought it was really good. But again, without the crowd, there are certain elements with wrestling that it plays like really well, where the crowd hypes up a spot. There was a couple times where Nikki was going to go for a hot tag, and you could see her, she's desperately trying to get to the ropes. And then, but that's where everybody would be cheering and like clapping and stuff like that. Like, yeah, come on, Nikki, come on. But like when they tagged her, it sort of felt empty, sort of felt a little empty. Um, so like that hot tag, that moment, it was lost. And just little tiny things like that. But Bliss, I believe Bliss, she picked up the win, and they are the new Bliss Cross are the new women's tag team champions. I mean, it makes sense because uh, the Kabuki Warriors weren't really like lighting the scene on fire. But then again, that whole division of being the whole women's tag division is very bad, and it's somewhat of a joke. After that, we had King Corbin against Elias. So the whole angle that they're playing up, Corbin was being like a big heel and saying, "Oh, hey, what's it called? Elias isn't gonna be here, so why don't you just ring the bell?" And then as soon as we hear the, bang, the what's it called? Elias strumming his guitar, and Corbin is actually, if you really think about it, Corbin is actually really funny as a wrestler. He's actually really funny. And so he's all like, "How is he here?" And there's something that makes you think about it, because Corbin went outside of the ring. He went outside of the ring to attack Elias. However, he missed, and Elias was the one who attacked him, smashed him over the back with a guitar. Now, and now it makes you think, who really is the heel? Because Elias just attacked a person who the match didn't even start, and he's already attacking this guy. Um, the match itself, I mean, what can you expect from Baron Corbin and Elias? Like, what can you expect from a match like that? Um, it gives you all sorts of level of hype as you would see, paint drying or, throwing a rock in the ocean. Um, so it's just like it was all right, it's called so it was Corbin had Elias in a roll up, but he used his feet on the ropes. And what's it called? The ref saw that, and the ref was all like, "Hey, Corbin, what the fuck are you doing?" And Corbin was all like, "What? I'm trying to win," and stuff like that. And then Elias rolled him up. Elias rolled him up for the 1, 2, 3, and they played some music that I have never heard, and from what a lot of people on Twitter have been saying that they have never heard that outro music before either. And yeah, I did not like the result of this match just for one reason. It's because to do with Solid Monster. I don't know if you guys know Solid Monster. You probably do if you know in the wrestling community. But he said that he wanted Corbin to win the match just just because if you think about it, last year, yes, it did. It did. And I will get to that. It was by far my favorite like match of the evening was the Taker match by far. Um so yeah, so what's called Solid Monster had said that Baron Corbin last year, he retired Kurt Angle. He retired Kurt Angle. You can't deny that he did that. He retired Kurt Angle. And now this year he lost to Elias. How do you go from such a phenomenal, like retiring such a big legend in the business to now losing to Elias? It don't make no sense. After that, and the match that was placed after it was weird, and it was Becky Lynch against Shayna Baszler, and I thought it was weird because I would have figured that they would have put that like sort of higher end on the card, higher end on the card, but it was the third match of the night. Um, so Becky, she comes out in this huge semi truck and stuff like that with this huge like her face on everything, her face on the side of the truck, and it was really like cool. It would have been better if there was a live crowd. I saw people they were looking on YouTube a live crowd, live crowd noise, and they would play it with their version of Wrestlemania. And so both of them automatically, Shayna Baszler and what's it called, Becky Lynch, they just start going at it. And this is one of the benefits of not having a live crowd. It's that you could hear every single smack. You could hear a smack, and a forearm and stuff like that as they were fighting. It added a sense of legitimacy to the match. You hear Shayna Baszler hitting those knees, those smacks, those forearms, everything. So like it was really good, and they were really like pushing themselves. They were doing all these sort of spots. They were like throwing each other. Like Becky Lynch got in the what's called the sort of power bomb position that they had. That Shayna Baszler had in on Monday Night Raw when he slams her up against the desk. I thought it was like really just like awesome. It was like I was all like, so it shows. Yes, it was that match was fucking awesome too, and I'll get to that match in a second. But that was a great match, by the way, great match. And so and Becky and Shayna are really like giving it their all, but it was, and it looked like because it sort of felt the right time, didn't it? That Shayna would be crowned champion, but they put the Karafuda clutch on her, and Becky rolls over and pins her 1, 2, 3, and the air was sort of let out. It was sort of like I was just like, well, Becky. Apparently, you can't fucking stop Becky because Becky is you can't stop her. Can't stop her at all. Um, I just thought like after this, I was just like, damn. Aside from Elimination Chamber, Shayna Baszler's dominating performance in Elimination Chamber. Um, she can't catch a break at any of the big ones. I mean, look at Royal Rumble. She lost the Royal Rumble match when everybody knew it should be her. And she lost this match with Becky Lynch when everyone thought it should be her. So it was very disappointing. And Shayna Baszler looked very disappointed. And you can't really fault her for that because, goddamn, this woman can't catch a break. Um, the only possible redemption that I could see for Shayna Baszler is to come back and be like this loss sets her, unhinges her, and she completely destroys like everyone, and she gets the title like that. That's the only way that I could see her, but I'm pretty sure the damage has been done when it comes to Shayna Baszler and her main roster career. After that, we had the Intercontinental Championship match. Daniel Bryan against Sami Zayn and Gronk, and you could tell that this obviously had been like altered, like it already been like edited and stuff like that. They had shot everything. You could tell because well, Gronk and Mojo were cheering for Daniel Bryan. They were doing like yes, yes, and I love that. But apparently they weren't cheering or booing for anyone else in any of the other matches. They weren't cheering for Becky Lynch. They weren't cheering for Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. They weren't cheering for any of them. So you could tell it was like taped and stuff like that. Also, speaking of it being taped, the intro, which I thought ran a bit long, there was Andrade was in there and Roman Reigns was in there, even though they had both pulled out of the show. Um, well, Reigns did. Andrade, I'm pretty sure he was. I forgot. He was either quarantined or something like that. So, uh, yeah. As I was saying, when it comes to Daniel Bryan and Sami Zayn, look, you can't go wrong with either of them because they're both like phenomenal athletes. Um, it was really good match, especially from Daniel Bryan. Like, and everyone was sort of expecting Daniel Bryan to come out and recapture the Intercontinental Championship. So he goes up in the top rope. He's gonna do this splash, maybe a headbutt or something. All of a sudden, boom! There's a kick from Sami Zayn, a haluva kick. That's what Michael Cole said. Haluva kick, and 1, 2, 3. Sami Zayn retains that Intercontinental Championship. I thought it was, I mean, like the decision. Yeah, I really, I mean, look, if we're being completely honest, I can't see it, but I have a Intercontinental right there. The Intercontinental Championship is not as prestigious as it once was. Maybe Sammy can change something with that. I personally don't think so. I'm pretty sure that a lot of other people have sort of lost interest in the Intercontinental Championship. And yes, it is. Yes, WrestleMania is over right now. They're playing the Chronicle of Drew McIntyre, which I am looking forward to. So now we get to one of the best, because like at first it started off in a lull. It started off on a lull, and you could tell it was sort of like, you didn't know how you felt about it. But finally we get to the part where it really is starts to get good, and that is the triple threat ladder match. Oh my God, the triple threat ladder match. Like no one was in the arena except for the announcers and everyone who's working there. So you could sort of like understand if they were all like, I sort of don't want to. Like, I sort of don't want to go all out and stuff like that. I sort of don't want to. But Morrison, Morrison, what's it called? Morrison, Jimmy Uso, and Kofi Kingston. Holy shit. They went all fucking out. The spots that they were doing was just like what you would see on WrestleMania. You know, Morrison, he did this beautiful, they were, the ladder was on top of the top rope. And I can't remember, I think it was Jimmy Uso who was on it. All of a sudden, Morrison decides to do Starship Pain, boom, on it beautifully. He landed so beautifully. There were spots where they were, what's called, one of the big spots was when Morrison pushed Jimmy Uso off a ladder and into the floor. That was fucking amazing. Kofi Kingston was flying all over the place. Ladders were being thrown all over the place. It was just really good. It was really good. And I remember thinking, I was just all like, wow, these guys are really going all out. The Probably the best part of the match was the ending. So there it's Morrison, Uso, and Kofi. They're all on top. They're all on top. And all of them are fighting and grabbing the title, grabbing the thing that secures the tag team titles, and they hook it. They unhook it. They all manage to unhook it. Now they have to figure out who's gonna hold on to it. Boom, boom. Kingston and Jimmy, they're fighting and they're pushing John Morrison off, and so they push John Morrison off after punching him. Like punch him, and John Morrison falls down on top of a ladder, but he has the tag team titles. He has the tag team titles and he wins the match. Great fucking spot. Great fucking spot. That was a great fucking match. Like, I don't think I've ever I was sort of expecting it to be like it's gonna be all right, but they by far delivered in a whole in a whole different way. They were amazing. They were amazing. After that, we had one of the matches I thought was going to be sort of a little lull, which was Rollins against Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens, he's sort of this all crusader now. Like he saved SmackDown from Shane McMahon, and now he has to save Raw from Monday Night Rollins. Rollins literally comes dressed out like Jesus. Comes out dressed like Jesus. The match itself was good. I thought, and I know it was to fill in for an audience. I know it was to fill in for an audience, but some of Seth Rollins, the things that he was saying, he was just like talking. He was just all like, "Oh, you can't beat me. When are you gonna learn that you can't beat me?" and stuff like that. And it was very corny and cheesy. It was very corny and cheesy at times. He's like, "When are you gonna learn that you can't beat me?" And then he kick him and stuff like that. So it was a little cheesy, in my opinion. And then like the match was really good. They go on the outside, and then all of a sudden, boom! Rollins hits Owens on the side of the head with a ring bell, and then the match is over. It's a DQ. And as soon as I saw that they rang the bell for the DQ, I was all like, "This fucking sucks." I was about to label it the worst match of the night. I was about to be like, "Damn!" I was like, they were having a really good match, and then all of a sudden, like they go with this DQ. I was just like, I was ready to riot. I was ready to riot. And then all of a sudden, Kevin Owens grabs a mic, and a la Jeff Hardy, when he lost to The Undertaker, he's all like, "Hey," he's all like, "This isn't gonna end like that. You know what I want? A no disqualification match. Come on down. Let's have a no disqualification match and finish it." Which I was waiting for an authority figure to come on out and say that's what's going to happen, but apparently Kevin Owens can just all of a sudden add stipulations to matches now, and that's what he did. And they had a no disqualification match, and Kevin Owens is getting his body beaten until he finally regains consciousness, regains his footing and stuff like that. And the best spot of the night, and imagine if there was a crowd. Imagine if there was a crowd. But he puts Kevin Owens puts Rollins on the announce table. Puts him on the announce table, and he leaves. So it's like everybody's like, "Where's he going? Where's he going?" Because above, what's called right next to the announce table is the big WrestleMania sign. The big everybody points to it. WrestleMania, WrestleMania. So Kevin Owens climbs on top, and he's all like, "Hey, Rollins, how's this for a WrestleMania moment?" Jumps off, gives him an elbow. Boom. Crashes through the table. Crashes through the table. And Seth Rollins sounds as though his lung has been taken out. He sounds as though he is. And I remember watching it. I'm like, is he really hurt? Because he's like, like he was either really hurt or he was really selling it. But I'm pretty sure he was selling it because what's called he'd be like, oh, but then he'd be like, he turns to one and he's like, it doesn't have to be like this, and that's when I knew. I was like, okay. I was like, he's just a really good worker. He's just a really good seller. Stunner, 1, 2, 3. Kevin Owens picks up the win. I thought it picked up when it got to the no disqualification stuff. It picked up really well. Seth Rollins, this is like one of his only WrestleMania losses, but I thought it was phenomenal, phenomenal match. And now, before we get to the next match, you just like knock these segments out of the way. Mojo, because remember that Rob Gronkowski, he's your host. He's your host, sure. And you know what he does, just like all the other WrestleMania hosts? Shows up in the beginning, shows up in the middle. That's it. Shows up in the beginning and the middle, and that's it. He and you can't have Rob without Mojo Rawley. So the two of them are all like, they're all like, "What's up, dude? It's cool, cool, cool." And then R-Truth comes in. He's like, "Hey, you got to help me hide." And then Rob Gronkowski has this look in his eye. He's all like, and he tries to pin R-Truth for the 24/7 championship. And unfortunately, Mojo grabs him. He's all like, "No, you don't." Picks him up, throws him out, and then 1, 2, 3. Mojo Rawley is the new 24/7 champion. I'm sure he is going to lose it probably tomorrow. And then Brock Lesnar being hyped up by Paul Heyman. He's all like, Paul Heyman's, blah, blah, blah. Brock Lesnar is God. Brock Lesnar is God. Brock Lesnar is God. So we then get to, I'm pretty sure, the one match that absolutely no one was looking forward to. The one match that absolutely nobody wanted to see. And that was Strowman versus Goldberg. Strowman versus Goldberg. I was watching this match. No, actually, I wasn't. The moments before the match, and my stomach was getting queasy. I was all like, I feel like I need to throw up. I do not want to watch this match because no matter the outcome, it's not going to be a good. It's not going to be a good match. No matter the outcome is not going to be good. So, you know how many moves were used in this whole entire match? Two. Two. Spear, 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 spear. 4 spears in a row. Goldberg, he's gonna go for the jackhammer. No, it can't get it, can't get it, can't get it. And then there is the less popular, because here we have Suplex City, we have Claymore Country, we have Viperville. There's the less popular Power Slam City. Power Slam City, bitch, because 4 power slams in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that gives Braun Strowman the 1, 2, 3. And Braun Strowman is your new Universal Champion. You know why I don't like this? Because they're about 2 or 3 years too late. Braun Strowman should have had the title in either 2016 when he was red hot or 2017. That's when he needed to have the title, but they were too cold-footed to pull the trigger. They didn't want to pull the trigger. Who knows why? But they never pulled the trigger on Braun Strowman until they absolutely needed him the most to pull the trigger on him. And now he is the Universal Champion. So we did get our wish for those that wanted to see him as Universal Champion. But ultimately, it doesn't even matter because the shine from Braun Strowman is long gone. The ship has sailed with Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman, it should have happened years ago. Should have happened years ago. That is why I do not like Braun Strowman beating Goldberg and becoming the Universal Champion. And then I completely forgot that this match was even was even happening. I was about to do this review match between AJ Styles, and The Undertaker. So the match, we knew that it was going to be filmed. This was going to be filmed, and it was going to be filmed like a movie. So there's Undertaker's hearse comes rolling and rolling, and then so we think, and then Undertaker's music's playing, and then he's all like, you see the casket come out, and boom, AJ Styles, they don't want none, and then he's all like, where are you, dead man? Where are you, dead man? And then here comes Undertaker, and I could see how people could get like a little bit peeved because they sort of because yes, we did get the American Badass Undertaker, but everybody either wanted to hear his Dead Man Walking theme or his Rollin' by Limp Bizkit. But it was fine. They had like a rock ass tune for Taker. So I was like, and it comes off, and a majority of the match is just them punching each other. It's just them punching each other, and then boom, 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 like, and throwing each other into stuff. And all of a sudden, Taker, he's got Styles down on the ground, and then here comes the OC, and the OC is all like, "Hey, them boys," and he's all like, "This ain't even close to being over." And and then all of a sudden, a whole bunch of barn flashes. All of a sudden, it drops, and then all these druids come in. These druids come in, and Undertaker's like, "Oh, let's do this!" Punch, 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 punch. Knocks all of them out, including Gallows and Anderson. And all of a sudden, AJ Styles comes from behind, boom, hits him with a literal tombstone. I'm pretty sure that was supposed to be a tombstone. Boom, on the back of the head. And this was AJ's time to shine as he's beating the hell out of the Undertaker, beating the hell out of him, and Undertaker's all like, oh, he's looking really bad, and Styles is all like, okay, like they're getting closer and closer to the grave, and Styles is all like, it's time to bury you, and bah, whacks him in the back with the shovel, and AJ Styles like, okay, we're gonna bury this motherfucker. Gets onto the tractor, which is right next to the grave, the open grave, turns it on, and he's like, yeah. As soon as lights pop up, bong, and here's the Undertaker right behind him. And Undertaker all of a sudden has new life in him. And then he starts beating up AJ Styles, gets him on top of a roof. And then Gallows and Anderson quickly follow. But before AJ Styles could escape, boom, Undertaker uses his powers, flames, stopping AJ Styles from running away. Taker, of course, destroys Gallows and Anderson. He's like, it's just me and you, AJ. Grabs AJ, choke slams him off of the roof onto onto the floor basically. And goddamn, like you forget just because he's the Undertaker that he's got all these mystical powers and stuff like that. All these mystical powers. And then there's AJ Styles is being basically carried to his grave. And AJ Styles is all like, please, please don't bury me. Please don't bury me. And Undertaker is all like, I'm not gonna bury you. He's all like, you fought really well. He's all like, no one's ever taken that fight to me like that before. And then it looks like he's gonna walk away. Big boot, boom, throws him into the grave, and then turns the key, buries him flat, and he removes something, and it's a cover on the tombstone, and it reads AJ Styles 2020 before he gets on his motorcycle and rides away. I thought for a second, maybe, just maybe, that he was gonna lose. He was gonna lose to AJ Styles, but holy hell! And you take that however you want, just because we're talking about the dead man. Holy hell, was that fucking phenomenal! Fucking phenomenal. That the way that it was shot, presented, it was the match that I did not expect to care the most about, but I ended up caring the most about it. I was just like, oh, it's just a boneyard match. Taker's gonna win. But no, that was honestly the best match of the night. The best match of the night. It was filmed and everything like that. Best match of the night. You can't you nothing could top it. It was sort of like a slow, steady build. A slow, steady build until finally, like you had Becky, Shayna, which was good, except for the horseshit ending. Which now that the only person who came remotely close to being able to stop Becky Lynch was Shayna Baszler, and now Shayna she's been beaten. She's been beaten. So who is next for Becky Lynch? Because Becky Lynch has basically beaten everyone. But that is for another time. Um, we had that good match. We had the ladder match. We had Sami Zayn, Daniel Bryan, which was also a good match. And it just kept on building and building and building and building until finally this culmination of this match was fucking awesome. The Boneyard match, the match of the night. Changed my mind. Match of the night. So that was it for night one. Tomorrow we have the Firefly Funhouse match. We have NXT Women's Championship match, the Fatal 5-Way match, the Raw Tag Team match. I'm trying to think if there's anything else other than the main event. I think if there are, I might be forgetting some. Um, and then Drew McIntyre against Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship, which should be something. Hopefully, this is Drew's big time. Drew's big time to shine and grab the prize that he was destined to get, the WWE Championship. Do me a favor, let me know what you guys thought about this. I don't know if I'll go back to streaming. Honestly, maybe I'll just do it for this WrestleMania weekend because I haven't had a lot of people join me today. I've had like some, but majority has been like I think the max I've had is 5 people at one time. So maybe I'll just do it for today and tomorrow, and then we'll go back to what I usually do. Um, but yeah, no, let me know what you guys thought about WrestleMania uh, night one. Let me know what you guys thought about WrestleMania night one in the comments section. Make sure you hit that like, share, and subscribe button, and I will be back here tomorrow as we cover WrestleMania night number 2. It should be something. It should be something. We hopefully see Drew's crowning achievement. Okay. I'm out of here. I'll see you guys tomorrow, WrestleMania night 2.